Have you ever felt like you're missing a secret code when you're learning a new language? Well, a lot of that code is actually hidden in the idioms people use every single day. So today, we're going to unlock the stories behind some common Hindi phrases and see what they can really teach us. So let's start with this big idea that these unique phrases are, in a way, the soul of a language. They go way beyond just vocabulary. They're like little windows that show us how a culture thinks and feels about the world. They're basically tiny packets of wisdom. Okay, so I've got a question for you, and it's a little weird. What on earth could owls, or a simple rice and lentil dish called khichdi, possibly have to do with a normal, everyday conversation? Well, the answer, as you might have guessed, is buried deep inside the incredible world of Hindi idioms. Before we get to the owls, let's just quickly get on the same page. An idiom, or a muhavra in Hindi, is basically a phrase where the meaning isn't what you'd expect from the words themselves. You can't just translate it literally. Instead, it's kind of like a cultural shortcut that paints a really vivid picture. Our first theme is something we can all probably relate to: selfishness and separation. I mean, it's a part of the human experience, and every culture deals with it. And Hindi has some unbelievably specific and visual ways to describe it. All right, let's start with our owl. The phrase is apna ullu sida karna. Now, if you translate that literally, you get something like to get one's own owl straight. Bizarre, right? But the real meaning is something you see all the time. It really means to achieve your own selfish goal. It's about manipulating a situation for your own personal gain, usually without any thought for other people. So straightening your owl is all about putting yourself first, no matter what. For instance, you could totally say this about a colleague. He didn't care about the team, he just wanted to get his own owl straight and take all the credit. See how that just captures that whole hidden, selfish agenda? It's way more powerful than just saying he was being selfish. And now for our second phrase, which takes us right into the kitchen. Apni khichdi alag pakana. This literally translates to cook one's own khichdi separately. Now, khichdi is a dish that's almost always cooked in one big pot for everyone to share. So that image of someone cooking their own little portion, that's the whole key. And that's exactly what it means. It's about keeping to yourself, staying separate from the group, or just insisting on doing things your own way and refusing to cooperate. It's all about creating that intentional distance. You can just picture it, right? Imagine a team project. This phrase would perfectly describe that one person who just won't join in with the group, who's off in a corner doing their own thing. Now, this is what's so fascinating. Both of these idioms are about self-interest, but they are different. There's a nuance here. Straightening your owl is an active thing. You're manipulating people to get what you want. But cooking your own khichdi is more passive. It's about isolating yourself and not cooperating. Language is just so beautifully specific. All right, let's move on. Have you ever put your absolute heart and soul into something only to realize it was a complete and total waste of your time? Well, Hindi has an incredibly visual phrase for that exact feeling. And just so you know, all the phrases we're talking about today are the real deal, taken from authentic source material. They're not just random things we made up. The next one we're going to look at, for example, is an absolute classic. And here it is. Ande ke aage rona. Literally, this translates to cry in front of a blind person. That mental image is so immediate and honestly pretty powerful. The meaning is just as clear as the picture it paints: to make a useless effort. It's about asking for help or sympathy from someone who is completely incapable of giving it to you, either because they don't understand or maybe they just don't care. Your pleas are falling on deaf ears. Or, in this case, blind eyes. This is such a perfect example. I'm sure you felt this, maybe in a meeting or a tough conversation. You're explaining, you're pleading your case, and you get absolutely nothing back. That right there, that's crying in front of a blind person. So from useless efforts, let's flip to the complete opposite. That sudden, sometimes kind of jarring moment of clarity. You know, that aha moment when you finally understand the truth of a situation. And the idiom for this is just beautifully simple and universal. Anke khulina. It means, quite literally, for the eyes to open. So the crucial thing here is that we're not talking about just waking up in the morning. This is about a mental or an emotional awakening. It's that moment when all the fog clears and you finally come to your senses and see what's really been going on. Here's a super relatable example. You're having an amazing time, not thinking about the cost at all, and then the final bill shows up. And suddenly, your eyes are wide open.
The reality just hits you. That is, aankhein khulna.
So we've gone on quite a little journey here, right? We've talked about owls and khichdi and these sudden moments of realization. It's pretty amazing how these simple phrases can pack in so much about complex human emotions.
I mean, think about it. In just a few minutes, we've explored some really core human experiences, all captured in Hindi. The different shades of selfishness, the pain of a wasted effort, and the amazing clarity of a sudden truth.
And that really gets to the heart of it. These idioms are so much more than just vocabulary words you have to memorize. They're like these tiny, compressed stories about what it means to be human, and they've been passed down through generations.
So I'm going to leave you with this question to think about. Whether you're speaking Hindi or English or any other language, start trying to listen for these tiny stories. They're absolutely everywhere. And the next time you want to describe a situation, which idiom will you use?